Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas and happy non-denominational holiday season for all you non-Christians out there. And welcome to Late Night Long Beach Holiday Special.
Not again. What are you doing on my show?
It's the holiday special, isn't it, Jen?
No. We canceled that months ago.
But why?
Because 2016 sucked. So we canceled Christmas and all other holidays too, to be safe, you know?
You can't cancel Christmas. It's the season of giving, man.
Just go.
Season of goodwill.
No,
just
go.
Oh, man.
Shoo.
Way to scrooge up my day. We'll go see Bad Santa 2, starring Billy Bob Thornton.
Hello everyone and welcome to the season finale of Late Night Long Beach. I'm your host Jen Lucas and I'm so excited to end this season with our very own Late Night Awards show. But before we get to it, we should first recognize some of the icons lost this year. I know 2016 has been a rough one, and unfortunately we've lost some beloved memes, dreams, and of course, Harambe. And while death and loss are always difficult to deal with, it reminds us to appreciate life more, right? Take, for example, the aux cord. You were a game changer of all car rides and allowed us to drop knowledge on any of our friends who only listen to the radio still. And we can say that we'll do right by you by stopping buying the new Apple phones, but let's be real. All Apple has to do is slap its logo on a brick and we would still think we need it. 2016 was also the year in which we laid rest to political legitimacy. Though it's not like we didn't see that one coming. I mean, some of our candidates included a Cheeto Puff, the Zodiac Killer, and D's Nuts. Lastly, we want to pay homage to the rise and devastating fall of Pokemon Go. From the start, the game was really cool, it was trendy, something that brought our childhood back to life. Then, after a while, people just stopped playing. But at least it encouraged us to get off our asses and explore outside, though still only staring at our phones. Well, I have no doubt 2016 will go down in history books as being one of the most surreal years ever, in part because of the weird trends and jokes of pop culture. And while I'd like to think 2017 will turn a new leaf, it'll probably just introduce us to Harambe 2.0. This time though, he fights back. And now, let's move on to our first ever Late Night Long Beach Awards. These awards are for the things that happened throughout the year. So let's start them off right with the saddest celebrity breakups. The nominees are Taylor Swift and Tom Hiddleston, Taylor Swift and Calvin Harris, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, and Taylor Swift and some other white guy. And the winner for the saddest celebrity breakup is Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. You know what? Yeah, this was a hard one to swallow, but if it's any consolation to the unhappy former couple, they get the very prestigious Late Night Long Beach Award. Game changer. Hey, Brad.
Thanks, Jen. I guess I can accept this award since my wife accepted my kids. This looks like my Oscar. My actual Oscar that I own. Brad Pitt, me. That's me.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
Newly single.
Yeah.
Hope it keeps you warm at night.
Thanks for this award, and go see Allied in theaters now, starring me, Brad Pitt. Yeah. Goodbye.
Hope it keeps him warm at night. That little thing. Well, next up, we have Dankest Meme. These nominees are the best, deepest, and most meaningful memes that we have seen, and each meme deserves to be on here because they have touched us in some way. The nominees for the Dankest Meme are Sad Ben Affleck, Harambe, Arthur's Fist, and Damn Daniel. The winner for the Dankest Meme is Arthur's Fist. This is the meme that drives so many of us to wake up in the morning. And without it, we here at Late Night Long Beach are convinced that so many movements like feminism, Black Lives Matter, and the environmentalist movements wouldn't be where they are today if it weren't for this meme. Congratulations, Arthur Spiz. What? All right, anyone else see that? Okay. The next award is a bit more personal. It is the best guest on Late Night Long Beach. These nominees carry a genius to them that we here at Late Night Long Beach truly cherish. The nominees for Best Guest this season are Jacob as Steve the Ganjapreneur, Jacob as Scooter, Jacob as Trent McGunge, and Robert Downey Jr. The winner for Best Guest is, oh, I wonder who it's gonna be, Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, I hear he's always late to everything too. Oh, hey, are you? Hi, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, that's me.
Sorry, that was the booty side. Let's flip it around.
I don't even remember being on the show, but I'll accept any award as long as you're not giving it to Chris Pratt or Steve Trevor or anything.
I love them.
All right.
I love you too, though.
I have things to do.
All right.
Good. Flame on.
Robert Downey Jr., you know? Celebrities really do look different in person. And for our final award, we have the most forgettable presidential candidate. These candidates just couldn't make the cut to be president. Wah. The nominees for most forgettable presidential candidate are George Pataki. I don't know. I forgot. Mike Huckabee, Lindsey Graham, and Statler Waldorf. And before we actually reveal who won the award, let's first point out that Statler Waldorf isn't even a candidate. It's actually the name of two Muppets put together. But you probably didn't catch it because everyone is just so forgettable. And we all know that people don't even pay attention or care about politics till election season anyway, just saying. And the winner for Best Short-Lived Presidential Candidate is, oh my God. It's a surprise winner. The winner for the most forgettable presidential candidate is Jeb Bush. You know, most people would say that campaigning for 10 years is a long time, but America begs to differ. Keep your chin held high, Jeb. You may have lost nomination to Baby Hands McMinnie-Mouth, but you have won the war when it comes to the prestigious Late Night Long Beach Award.
Hello.
Hey, Jeb.
America. Our country needs a president who is silent in the face of fear and needs to be silent to strike fear in heart of
Thank
countries.
Thank you so much,
everywhere.
Jeb. You're so great.
Please clap. Please clap. Please.
Oh, old people are so sweet. Let's give it up one more time for all of our winners tonight. Now, before we head into our next segment, let's cut to our sponsors for the night.
Hey, you.
Me?
Yeah, you. Did you know that Flint, Michigan still does not have clean water?
Oh, wow, that's a shame. Well, I mean, I was concerned about them a few months ago. I mean, I even hashtagged it and everything. Wish I could help.
What if I told you that you could?
Oh, wow. How could I, a simple student, possibly help an entire city?
I'll show you.
What could we possibly do with all this?
What we're gonna do with this is solve the world's problems, not just tweet about them. The world doesn't need any more slacktivism.
Okay.
Well, first, you need to take the water bottle and wrap it up real nice. And mail Flint some water.
Are you sure one bottle's gonna be enough?
Well, there's no limit to the amount of water we should send them. They need all the water they can get. Just take the cardboard box and pour all the water you can. Just remember, it's going to a good cause. Looks like we have some important packages to ship.
We sure do.
So do you think you've learned something today?
I mean, I guess. You mind if I snap this?
Now don't forget, Flint still needs our help. All of our help.
Flint who?
Welcome back to the show. Tonight, we'll be discussing one of the biggest controversies of the decade, Slacktivism, also known as clicktivism. This phenomenon is when people put in minimal effort to show support for causes through social media. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of benefits to online activism. However, there's a lot more work to be done than adding a rainbow or a Paris flag filter to your Facebook profile picture. And social media has a huge impact on our lives. When it comes to protests and social movements, it has become an essential tool. Let's look at one of the earliest examples of social media being used for a social movement, Kony 2012. It was one of the most viral videos of its time, as it got over 100 million views within 6 days of its upload. The company behind the film and movement, Invisible Children, created the film to spread awareness and raise funds to help protect the families in Central Africa from the violence and exploitation of Kony's army. The documentary inspired people all over the world to actually care about the violence happening outside their country. Even Oprah donated $2 million to the charity, which is why a lot of people were upset that only 1/3 of funds raised by Invisible Children actually went to Ugandan youth. So for the 2/3 of Ugandan kids, don't look under your chair because there is nothing there. And you don't get money, and you don't get money, and you also don't get any money. Survivors of Kony 2012 that spoke to the Al Jazeera media network were outraged to see that a traumatizing experience had turned into something that only glorified the creators of the video. A major critic of the campaign is Adam Branch, author of Displacing Human Rights, War and Intervention in Northern Uganda. He hated that it portrayed Africans as helpless children in need of rescue by white Americans, because we all know what happened the last time white people wanted to help. Though many may be more skeptical of campaigns, it has taught more people to be cautious of the organizations they support. Part of the reason it gained so much popularity was the video being straightforward and easy to share. Kind of like those evil Kermit memes, those new evil Kermit memes, so relatable. Now social media movements like Kony 2012 might seem efficient, but it's not all hashtags and retweets. Social media has opened the doors to Slacktivism, the major problem with it being the motivation behind the user. As stated in Brands Driven Digital, many people believe displaying support for causes is a way to grow your personal brand rather than being an actual champion of the causes, which is called cultural capitalism. A lot of people on social media feel compelled by the idea of being part of a protest or social movement, just like how white people feel now like reverse racism is a thing. People think that. Cultural capitalism also persuades people into displaying support for upcoming campaigns with social pressure and marketing tactics. For example, one of the most popular campaigns is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, the only month we don't have to wait till Wednesdays to wear pink. Every day. Everyone loves wearing pink accessories and merchandise, but that is not enough to support the cause. The NFL has actually received the most criticism for their campaign, as only 8.1% of their breast cancer merchandise proceeds are donated to research. 8.1%. You're actually spending more on the tax of that pink Tom Brady jersey than the NFL donated to the American Cancer Society. So people aren't only lacking true support by being fashionable, but the money they spent on those accessories isn't even that significant. People forget that it is much more about actually helping those with medical conditions than being part of some trend. There's more to this still. Take, for example, the 2014 Ferguson protests, where social media was very prominent. The Washington Post said social media may have resulted in people being less likely to participate in the movement after reading about the violence involved. During the protest, on Twitter, there was so much false information being spread, such as claiming another citizen was shot by police and mistakenly accused the person who shot Michael Brown. There's also new research showing a growing problem with local police departments. In the US, these departments have spent $4.75 million on software tools that track any activists using hashtags before protests on social media. Brennan's Center for Justice tracked 151 local enforcement agencies that have contracted with startup companies to gather information from Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. The City of LA, the Texas Department of Public Safety, the County of Sacramento, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and the County of Macomb are all top spenders, spending around $70,000 each on these softwares. Startups such as Geophedia and SnapTrends buy information from social media sites and analyze them for trends or to monitor events taking place at certain locations. Law officials claim that this software is useful as people who commit crimes brag about them on social media. It also helps them gather witness evidence. But, I mean, let's be real, who's dumb enough to post their crimes or stupid stuff online? I mean, here, let's check. Oh, wow. Okay, that's embarrassing. Never underestimate how stupid people are. But, awkward laughter, I know. But the problem that it's also being used to monitor protests. That's the biggest problem. It's being used to monitor protests and target individual activists. Let's take into consideration how a month ago, thousands of people checked in on Facebook at Standing Rock Sioux Reservation in North Dakota to thwart police who are monitoring people on social media. Social media has become a tool in social movements, but causes issues such as slacktivism and now police potentially monitoring protests online. Now, there are some positives to come out of social media movements. Bringing it back to Ferguson, the social media behind it allowed people to be more informed about protests by sharing the location, any safety risks, and size of anticipated crowd. But most importantly, it allows people to have a group identity. Social media makes it easier to find allies who share similar outlooks and emotions towards injustice. And although it's already been a month since Trump's election victory, still hurts to say that, it is relevant. Andrew Orlowski wrote an opinion editorial titled, "And with one stroke, Trump killed slacktivism." The new presidency will bring up the battle of net neutrality once again as the new Congress will re-examine the Communications Act. But before panicking that Silicon Valley, Mr. Robot of society, or the government is going to slide through your DMs, realize that you have a voice in this too. Whether you are happy or upset about the results of this election, it is encouraging more people to actually make an effort towards their beliefs. In addition to more political posts clogging up your feed, at least more people are organizing rallies to make sure their voices are heard, especially by politicians. The most recent movement has been wearing a safety pin to display support for those who may feel vulnerable after recent events. Barnard University student Sabrina Krebs would like to remind people that it's not a resistance towards Trump, it's a form of resistance towards hate and to negativity. Many have been quick to point out that it is a minimal effort that ultimately won't make a difference. However, the beauty of it is that it's a small gesture that could possibly mean so much to someone struggling. And of course, many of those participating in the movement already understand that wearing a pin does not substitute for any actions they can do better of their community. It's kind of like expecting to be close to that childhood friend you haven't really talked to in a few years, but you still put that yearly happy birthday post on their Facebook, throw them a few likes here and there. Now, to cool things down, here's another success worth celebrating. Remember that summer of 2014 when you and all your friends poured ice on yourselves for charity? Well, it actually worked. The Ice Bucket Challenge raised $115 million in just 8 weeks. Bernard Mueller, the co-founder of Project Mine, attributes these donations to the success of his organization's research. The discovery of the NEC1 gene is the first step in finding a cure for the disease. As an ALS patient himself, he couldn't be more pleased with the progress and hopes efforts like this help other causes too. Well, that's it for this season, 49ers. But remember, change is caused by more than a like or a retweet. Social media has become an essential part of us, but also a tool we should utilize to become more aware of what's occurring around the world. That doesn't mean just because you shared that article on Facebook, you've done your part. Now gather, donate, and organize because there's always more to be done in our world. And our jobs as citizens is never done. Happy holidays, and don't forget to be decent human beings. It's been such a pleasure being your host, and thank you so much for watching this season of Late Night Long Beach.